Hello, today I'm here to talk to you all about how our nation's Pacific coastlines are being plagued by a relentless and fierce disease that is attacking our sea star populations. This disease is called sea star wasting syndrome or sea star wasting disease. It's an illness that has depleted a lot of the sea star populations along the coast, and it has led to devastating environmental drawbacks and consequences. National park systems and other organizations have been researching into the cause of this disease, and so far they don't have any concrete causes. Now, my name is Madeline Lolito. I'm a college student. I'm currently studying to go into wildlife ecology. I've taken many biology courses, marine biology courses included, and I volunteer at different nature conservations. So, I am very passionate about biology and nature and conserving populations and ecology of different ecosystems. Now, about sea star wasting syndrome. There are no concrete causes, as I mentioned before. They have not tracked down one single cause, they have only possibilities. And there are many possibilities as to what caused this. One of the consequences of sea star wasting syndrome is the prey of sea stars populations having risen extraordinarily. Another consequence is low biodiversity in ecosystems and a huge toll on the kelp forests as a lot of the prey of sea stars has started to attack them. Now, about sea star wasting syndrome, again, it is a bad chain reaction. It causes a lot of devastating effects on the environment. The causes of this disease are yet to be discovered. The outbreak is a pathological and biological mystery, and it has led to a lot of different organizations and different systems to be conducting research on this disease. About the causes, one of the possible causes could be a pathogen or virus. This seems to be the most likely, according to Marine, which is a organization put together by a bunch of research groups. The proof of this possibly being caused by a pathogen is on the sea star corpses that are left over after they pass away. Marine claims that the dead sea stars have what is called a densovirus on them, and this densovirus is specific to sea stars, which is why they hypothesize that it is a possible cause, probably one of the most possible causes of sea star wasting syndrome. Another one that they contemplated that was another natural cause would be warm water wasting. Warm water wasting happened in a different part of the nation, on a different coastline, and what happened was sea urchins washed up, but what makes it different from sea star wasting disease is the fact that these sea urchins were still almost fully intact, and with sea star wasting syndrome, they waste away and essentially melt. Their limbs fall off and they're not intact. As for the other possibilities, they have looked into possibly human involvement, not directly but indirectly, via forms of pollution or any other kind of effect on the environment, but they believe that is unlikely. One of the ones that they mainly looked into was the nuclear event in Nagasaki, Japan, that is still ongoing, but they ruled that it was very unlikely to have caused the sea star wasting syndrome. There's very little pointing towards pollution in general being a cause of it, unless the pollution was what caused the densovirus to be released into the water. So pollution is not the direct cause of this disease. Now, finding this cause of this disease is very important because it could lead towards finding a potential cure for this, and finding a cure is imperative because the lack of sea stars is a snowball of harsh consequences on the coastline environments. Now, going into the consequences on the coastline environments, sea stars are a keystone species in a lot of these ecosystems. A keystone species is essentially a very important species or animal in these ecosystems that, when removed, causes a lot of harsh effects, and it leads to a loss in biodiversity. Now, without sea stars, sea urchins, which is one of the sea stars' most popular prey, the sea urchin populations rise exponentially, and it wipes out the kelp forests. Now, the kelp forests are a direct cause of the large biodiversity in those ecosystems, and that is because a lot of species who call kelp forests home, they use it for breeding grounds, they use it for food sources, as I mentioned, homes, and with the sea urchins wiping out the kelp forest, a lot of these species have to either move or they will just simply die off. Another devastating effect would be the mussel populations in Alaska. Now, mussels, if you've ever been to a lake, are known to be very invasive, and if you carry them along in your boat to a different lake, they will take over that lake and eat all of the algae. So mussels are already very damaging to other ecosystems, and they have now started to damage the kelp forest ecosystems in Alaska. This is because mussels are another prey of the sea stars, and the mussels will eat all the kelp and algae in the species, meaning that there is less room for biodiversity, and they also eat up a lot of the plankton in the water that a lot of the natural fish along the coast of Alaska live off of, meaning that the fish either have to move somewhere else where the habitat isn't best equipped for them, or they simply die off. To summarize, as I mentioned, no sea stars means a lot of their prey populations will skyrocket, which leads to huge environmental effects that are devastating for the ecosystems. The causes are still unknown. Hopefully in the future, scientists will be able to find a cause of sea star wasting syndrome, and with that they'll be able to find a cure for the disease. And I'm hoping that as more scientists get put on the cause, or technology improves for finding this kind of pathological cause, that hopefully something will be done about this. Thank you.